we have a fantastic chess position. Let me start over. Here we have an incredible chess position in front of us. White has two pawns, and black has three. Okay, that's easy enough. Make that four. Nah, that's easy enough. I can count. And in this position, we see the knight and bishop versus the two knights, bishop and king. All right, an extraordinary position. Now, I saw this recently. I really wanted to share it with you. If you haven't seen it, I figured I simply had to share it with you. And I see the hype train is rocking and popping, guys. Thank you so much for making that a success. Now, this is the position. Now that I think about it, I am homeless on Wi-Fi. Guess the answer without me even putting the chess position up. You know, you remind me of Did you guys see that video of Magnus? Did you see the video of Magnus and Magnus's memory? Like, and it was David Howell, GM Howell, was testing Magnus's memory. And Magnus was just a friggin' freak of nature. Magnus was guessing stuff before it was even put on the chessboard. That's how bad he was. That's a bad man, Magnus Carlsen. The memory level, obscene. Obscene, absurd, redonkulous. An amazing video. If you haven't seen it, Magnus Carlsen with David Howell showing his absurd memory. He was remembering stuff from like Harry Potter movies. I mean, it's freakish. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely sick. The memory he has. It's like, what? It's a good thing it's not just memory that makes you play chess well, because nobody would be able to beat that cat. I mean, he just remembered stuff from, this happened in 1963. This happened in 1979. Oh, this happened in a Harry Potter movie. But, I mean, he just sees it. Bro. No. Was it staged? I don't think so. It's Magnus Carlsen. I believe it. He's got an extraordinary memory. Let me tell you right now. His memory is absolutely unbelievable. You know, there's certain skill sets, like when you think about Timur Gareev. Timur Gareev can play 48 people at once blindfolded while riding a stationary bike. I mean, there's certain things. Doesn't mean that he's the best player in the world. You see somebody do that, you say, that dude's memory is sick. He should be the best player on the planet. No, it's not a one-to-one correlation. Thankfully, there are other things that go into it. But in this case, that's sick. And it came from the #1 player on the planet. So much respect indeed. Just simply another level of freakishness. But let's get to this puzzle. This puzzle is a real wonder to behold. And I really wanted to share it with you because I saw it recently. I managed to solve the puzzle, but it was so entertaining. Like, wow, what a crazy chess position. So let me show you how it goes. White at the moment is threatening to queen. The problem is black has this move knight to f7 with check if you get a queen. Not going to work. So white would like to save a tempo, except black is also threatening to drop this bishop back and stop the pawn from queening. So white needs to disrupt the flow of the game. Just simply needs to disrupt something so that this pawn can become a queen somehow. How do you do it? You can make a number of attempts. They don't work. So let's get the direct way that starts it. Knight to f6 with check. All right, so now black has to be ultra careful. Obviously, if black goes to the back rank, the pawn queens with check. You have no time to play knight f7, so life is tough. So black has to make another move. Black could play the move king to g6. The problem with that move is now you allow for the f7 square to be covered and the move bishop to h5 with check, covering the square. So now there's no knight fork when this pawn promotes to a queen, whatever your king does. So this position is winning. So that means that black on this check cannot go back or to the g6 square. So black must tread carefully and play the move king to g7. All right, so black's like, I'm still staying out of the orbit of this pawn becoming a queen. So white must now make another move, which looks totally random. Check. Now, one of my favorite fresh ideas that you normally don't hear in chess literature is the idea of the setup check. The setup check. It's the best name I've gotten for this word. Maybe there'll be a better term you guys come up with, somebody else comes up with. The setup check. The setup check is the check that you do even though you don't know where it's going, but you're setting something up. And it may end up going somewhere, and you should look to see whether or not it goes somewhere. But the check itself, because it's a forcing move, sets everything in motion, right? Sets everything in motion. It's like, I do this check, and you got to find a square. Okay, maybe I do another check. You got to find another square. Oh, wait a minute. Now your squares are limited. Now you're getting into trouble just by the forcing nature of the word check. And check is the most forcing move in chess. No question. Check is the most forcing move in chess. All right. It's not the threat to checkmate. Obviously, checkmate is a form of check and it ends the game. So we can't even call that forcing. We're talking about a move that the person has a next move to follow. The most forcing move is check. So by just playing a forcing check, you could set up possible tactics. So that's what White did with the move, the first couple of moves. White plays the move knight to f6. White is saying, I'm setting up something. Watch where you go. Black plays king g7. Now White plays the move knight to h5 check. What's happening? I'm setting up something. Watch where you go. Now Black has to be careful because now Black cannot go to f7 as we noted. This is illegal. All these back rank squares are terrible. And this one allows bishop to c2 check. And you got a problem because now you cannot go here or here because of the coordination of the two pieces guarding those squares. That means you have to go to one of the back rank squares, where you could throw your knight in the way, but we'll just take it. And if you go one to the back rank squares, then you're getting mated rapidly. So you cannot do this move. You cannot return to that square. So Black in this position is only one move, and that is the move king to g6. So the first two setup checks created a forcing situation. All right. What does White do now? You still cannot promote to a queen because of knight to f7 with check. So White continues with the move bishop to c2 check. Another setup check, but look what it sets up. This is going to be extraordinary what this sets up, all right? This sets up. So why knight h5 and not knight e8? Knight e8 doesn't do anything in this position. Knight to e8 check doesn't set up anything. As a matter of fact, it sets up a loss is what it does. Thank you very much. So I can hang out on this square. Now you have no more checks, and knight f7 is coming to stop that, and you blew it. So you don't want to make bad checks, all right? Bad checks is not good for the bank account. So knight h5 check, king to g6, forced, not blocking the back rank, and now bishop to c2 check. And now trouble. You cannot go here or here or here or here, all illegal. And if you go to f7, then you take the square away from your knight. This pawn promotes to a queen. That is that. However, what if we take your delicious knight that's been bugging us all this time? All right? What if you take the knight? So, I had just got quiet. Everybody's hearing me? Everybody's all good? Okay, just making sure that you guys are out there. King takes on h5. Now, this position is the extraordinary moment in the game because White just played a series of setup checks and Black took the knight. It's like, you just took my knight. Like, what? What the heck just happened? But White has set up something much more devilish. That is, White now gets a queen. Right? Like, really? After all that, you did all of that to not allow a fork, and you allow a fork. So Black said, okay, thank you very much for the fork. Like, what did you do this for? And now king to e6. What? Well, thanks for your queen with check at that. Like, what did you do? Until we now get to the point of all those checks were meant to create this position on the board. How many moves have we played? This is the sixth move. White played a series of checks to create a position where the Black king is completely stalemated, has nowhere to go. And now White has only a lone bishop. This pawn cannot push because the king will go to h4. So White has a lone bishop to try to checkmate along one of these two diagonals. That's it. All right, incredible, absolutely incredible that is white's conception. Give away the knight, give away the pass pawn to create this situation. So now black has to deal with this move. Black has no way to check the king, so black must play the move e2. The only way to stop what's about to happen. And now white's in a little bit of trouble because a queen's going to show up on the board. So white plays the only move, bishop to e4. That's a bishop f3 Matutski coming at black. Black cannot get a queen, obviously, because that bishop f3 is going to be too good. So black needs to guard this square. The only way to guard the square is to under-promote to a knight. Only move. Only move. Now, black has stopped that check. White cannot go back and do that. White cannot go back and do that because the knight covers it. And white is looking for a way to get to this diagonal. There's no way to get there. Bishop here allows this, covered already, and bishop here is taken. So what has white been doing all this time? White can't even do this to try to jimmy around because it'll get taken. What has white been doing? Well, this next move is the true extraordinary move of this whole puzzle. This next one is the best one. Like, this is just love. This is just love, okay? This is sick. Because white actually does play the move bishop to d5. And you go, well, what's that threatening? We don't see the threat. That's not a threat. Why'd you play this move? That's not a threat. Well, what white has done is white has frozen this knight, for one. You cannot move. This knight is frozen. You cannot move, so cut those two off. And these two cannot move either. But white is actually threatening the extraordinary bishop to c4, followed by bishop e2 mate. White has time to wait. Let's see. My train is coming. My train's not here yet. Let me play bishop d5. What? What? Wait. Black can't do anything about this? A rolling threat of bishop to c4 and bishop to e2? Well, wait a minute now. Come on. Let's be real. Yes, I solved this. Absolutely, I solved this. Yeah, well, at any rate, you don't have to believe me, but I did. So, this position, it's all forced. The only thing you can try to do, and it's lovely, and it's a puzzle, so you know. It's beautiful. So, bishop to d5, only move now, because it's the only move now, and the threat is bishop c4, bishop here. This knight is useless. Useless in stopping that. The only move is to push. By the way, when you see this rhythm start to happen, when you're a puzzle solver, you know where the guy's going with it. Whoever created a puzzle, you know where they're going with it. And you see the theme and you start to laugh because you know this is where they're going with it. So bishop to c4, next move. The threat, of course, is Matutski. So only move is to ask for another knight. You have no choice. There are 4 black knights on the board, 2 of them promoted. It was forced, people. It was absolutely forced. And now this knight is stopping that one. This knight is stopping this one. This knight is stopping this one. Well, let's bring another knight to the party. Bishop to b5. Hello, who's going to stop this one? Knight? There's got to be somebody who helps out because bishop to e8 is going to be made into taking this knight. The knights are stretched, all right? All stretched completely. And now black has to stop bishop to e8. Plays knight to c7. Hello. Only move. Only move. All right, thank you, Ade. Only move, okay, to stop bishop to e8. This is just wild. This is crazy. This is insane. And now white finishes it off with the spectaculicious bishop to a4. And now we've got all of black's pieces on dark squares, including the 4 knights, okay? All of them sitting on dark squares, including the 4 knights, except the king. The one king sitting on a light square. And white is going to play bishop to d1. No access to that square for any of the knights. You can start committing side sui by throwing your knights in the way. It's not going to help. These knights are out of the picture. They cannot check the white king. And this bishop has been useless this whole time. This pawn has been useless this whole time. They're both useless. And bishop back is coming. You can throw everybody in the way. The bishop is going to D1. The bishop is taking any knight on E2. The bishop is taking any knight on F3. And it's going to be Matutski. What kind of chess puzzle is this? This is insanity, all right? This is absolutely insanity. Chess is a gorgeous game. It is a gift to humanity. A gift. That's how I see it. Let's go back to the original position. All right, let's go back to the beginning. This was the beginning. What I love about chess is there are situations where you cannot possibly predict what the final position ought to look like. I love that about chess. You can't, there are a lot of situations, of course, you'd be like, okay, we know this one. It's a smothered mate. The knight's going to mate on F7. Nobody cares. Okay. Arabian mate. Yeah, we see it coming. No big deal. The knight's going to be on F6. Rook 8. We see it. No big deal. All right. Bowden's bishops. Yeah, we know because the bishop is guarding the queenside castle position. We're going to sack on C6. Something's going to happen. No big deal. This position, that black is going to under promote to 2 knights. That white's going to sack the knight. That white's going to actually queen the pawn and give away the queen. And the bishop is going to jiggy like Will Smith, get jiggy with it and dance around the chessboard. Hell to the no. You would never guess what's going to happen. The only thing you can do is start with a goal in mind. I want to queen my pawn. That's the goal. You say, I want to queen my pawn. That's what I want to do. But it looks like I can't. All right. It looks like I can't. Thank you, Bowden's bishop. It looks like I can't. This is not going to happen because this joker is in the way. And if I wait, that's going to happen. So because of that alone, you go, I got to start checking. I mean, what I got to do? I got to start checking. And then you got to be careful because this check is useless because the king moves. He said, that was dumb. That means I got to check with the knight. And then it starts the whole sequence as we've seen. This check starts this one. This check starts this one. Now this check comes in the game after you've tried everything else and you realize it's completely useless. What's up, super hot dogs? Let me just go back as welcome to the party because we're looking at this chess position. Insane. We just broke it down, but we can just run it back again for you guys. The incredible finish of knight F6 check, king to G7, knight H5, king G6. Now we check, king takes, and now you queen. I mean, this is absurd. Now you give away your queen so your king can get to this beautiful position. So your bishop can threaten mate on D1. Let's be real. Now another theme showed up. So you started trying to queen your pawn, but now a new theme showed up, and that was mate. And once that showed up, you said, whoa, there's a mating concept on the board? Let's look at that. And once you start looking at that, you realize that your bishop has to. It's not even can. It has to seek out the mating squares or else. And then you realize that's a threat of F3 mate, so you must under promote. Then you're useless here, but you know it's the answer because nobody creates a crazy puzzle like this without this being the right way to go, right? So then you realize, hold on, let me get my bishop around. Let me do a waiting move, not real waiting move. I got ideas. And now suddenly they have to stop that idea. Boom, a second under promotion. Everything looks stop until you play this move because you know you're on the right track. And it's going to be Matutski. And there's only one way to deal with that. And it's this move. And then bishop A4. And it's all she wrote. It's over. It's over. What is that? I'm sorry. I can look at this 5 times in a row. I can run this back. Rewind. I do that. You know, I'm watching like Kyrie Irving on the Nets. And he does some sick play. Between the legs. Behind the back one way. Behind the back the other way. Between the legs again. Between the defender's legs. Up to the hole. Shimmy like this. Act like he's going to pass. That's a fake. Go into the hole. 2 defenders come up. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going up. But no, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go off the left hand and bank it. Bing. That's only 2 points? You only get 2 points for that, dude? Give that man 18 points for that shot. Give him, I mean, what? That's only 2? That's like a basic layup is 2. And the guy did all that. What? Between the legs. Whoop. Sorry. Fake him out. The other way. Bank. That's only 2 points? That's not right. Like this right here, you only get to get a checkmate. No. You only get 1 point for this game, right? No. This deserves at least 4 or 5 points. At a tournament, if you pull this off in a tournament game, yo, excuse me, everybody else, I don't know what y'all are playing. You're not playing real chess. Give this person who just won a game. Sorry, we're going to give you an L and give this person right here your W. You understand? And you'd be like, what? Get out of here. You ain't getting my W. Could I show you the game? And you look at the game, you'd be like, you know what? I'll take the L. You can have my W. Because what I did was garbage. My game was garbage. I'm ashamed to show my game now the way I won. You winning like this. That looks like that's a, yo, somebody else who ready to volunteer another W to this person right here for playing chess like this. All right, this is ridiculous. You can play like this. You are a super duper all-star of the game. I mean, ridiculous. The dance of the knights. If you want to see more of these videos, don't forget to click the subscribe button and please follow me on twitch.tv/GMAshley.